This is Sniz again from Bloodbane. I'm going to do a short video on food production, a little thing that I've been experimenting with and working with and thought I'd share. Uh, the farms, and unlike other games, in fact, some of the old RTSs where you're pumping out farms, food is a much smaller factor in this game, but I actually went through a couple of phases where my food production wasn't quite where it should be. The key with farms is, first of all, individual farms go up massively as they get upgraded. So this is a resource that isn't really about stacking and cramming into tight clusters. This is one that really needs to sit out on its own and ideally be upgraded pretty high pretty fast. I've already got this one to level 8 in my new town here. Now what I have here is the ideal scenario. This is going to produce a ton of food for one building slot. Particularly when I get to level 10. I have not found any configuration that's better than this. So if you are ever lucky enough to have two bodies of water, a square apart like that, where there is a placement that touches both of them, and then every other square around it is free, that I have not yet found anything better than that for production, including adding mills and whatnot. In fact, I've kind of found mills useless so far. These two sources produce a 50% irrigation, and like others, that is a modifier to the modifier. And then with farms, you also get a bonus for each open field. So open fields basically act as a natural resource, the same way if these were trees sitting around a woodcutter's hut. Getting kind of late tonight. These empty fields basically represent the same thing as cottages, or those natural resources more like, because they produce 25%. Because of that, you get the most bang for your buck out of this one building slot. You can place one building out of 100, and that one building is modified 25, 50, 75, 100, 150%, and then that 150% modifier is doubled again with 250% modifiers here. This building is producing 500% its base. So at 160, is it up over 500%? The base of 160 is producing 800 food. When I get this to level 10, it's going to be producing 400 base, and this one farm is going to be producing, I think, 5,000 food an hour with one building. So it's a pretty powerful setup. Now, I jump over to my first city. This one, I wasn't so lucky as to get that source. But even that, for one building slot, is still going to be producing quite a bit. Right now, this is about a 4 times modifier, just having one slot next to a body of water. So as far as farm locations, and depending on how you set up a configuration in the outer city here, you can use, one of the setups I was looking at is taking a single lake, adding a farm here and a farm here with this resource destroyed, and you basically off that lake have nothing other than the lake touching. Now the mill, the interesting thing is the mill being added chews up a field space and adds a modifier, so it does have some value, but given that you have to take up a second building slot to create that mill, every configuration I've run means that rather than having one farm and then a mill, if instead you use that building slot for another farm, you actually produce more with 2 level 10 farms than you do with one farm and one mill. So even though, yes, the mill is a modifier and it's great, when you're looking at total building slots chewed up for the resources produced, I am starting to strongly favor these low building count configurations where it's actually better to have 2 farms than one mill. So that's it on that one. Thanks.